Aloha. Sorry about the delay there if anybody's waiting. I do apologize. Otherwise, here we go. Music Monday. Go back and watch the other videos if you want to. Otherwise, I'm just going to be taking us down a little exploration of how things work. So, the concept that I'm going to be showing today is going to be moving through a simple form. Thus far, if we've been watching, we know that our major chords, we're starting to teach from D, E, F, G, A, and B. So when we go through the process of hearing do, re, mi, fa, sol, la, ti, do, we're seeing C, D, E, F, G, A, B. This could be any order of those notes. So if we started in the key of G, we would have G, A, B, C, D, E, F. However, to get the same do, re, mi, fa, sol, la, ti, do, we need to have a certain format of intervals, meaning we're going to be going a major second, minor second, major second, major second, major second, minor second. So what that actually means is we're going to be taking a whole step right here in between the G and the A, and then we're going to be taking another whole step here, and then we're going to take a half step. Then we take a whole half. If you're a little lost, that just means if I went G to A, there's a note in between G and A. So the difference between those two intervals isn't just a half step, it's two half steps added together to make a major second. So what we're going to be talking about today on how to form a chord is just based off of the major scale. Whole step, half step, whole step, half step. No matter what key you do this in, you can hear what a major scale would be. So if you're uncertain as to how many sharps and flats the key of E major has, which it has 4, we go through the process of seeing that C has none, G has 1, D has 2, A has 3, and E has 4. This is called the circle of fifths, and we go through this by seeing C, D, E, F, G. C had no sharps, no flats, which is why I said C, D, E, F, G, A, B, C. Well, to make a C major out of that, I just take the 1, the 3, and the 5, which a major chord, out of all of our different types of chords, we would have a major, minor, diminished, augmented, and then a half diminished. Out of those different types of chords, we actually derive C major, G major, D major, A major, B major, E major, B major, F sharp major, and C sharp major as having no sharps or flats, and then all of them. If you're a little bit lost in here, go check out a video called The Circle of Fifths by my channel or by anybody's channel. Lots of fun information. I just don't put graphics or anything on this. It's more like a talk through. Okay, so the idea and the concept of this is if C has none, G has 1, D has 2, A has 3, and E has 4, I quite literally can just start my cadence of my 7 diatonic notes, E, F, G, A, B, C, and D. Knowing that the 7th is a diminished, I put a little diminished mark. Knowing that I've got a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, I could actually go 1, 3, 5, and basically take apart my major. So here's my 1, here's my minor second, my minor third, major 4th, major 5th, minor 6th, and then diminished 7th. Why am I calling these things? Well, here's the breakdown. When I take these chords, and if I were to play E, F, G, A, B, C, D, which are all natural notes at this point, and not give them their designated F sharp, which is the first sharp that's in the key of G major, giving them the next sharp, which is a C sharp, sorry, C sharp, which is in the key of D, we would have F and C. When we go 5 notes from D, D, E, F, G, A has 3 sharps, one of them's F, one of them's C, and then the next one goes from our last sharp. So C, D, E, F, G. G sharp is the next sharp in the key of A. So here's 3 sharps. That would kind of be the A spelling, A, B, C sharp, D, E, F sharp, G sharp, A. If we go all the way 5 notes away, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, we get our next sharp. So in the key of E, this is how you spell it. E major, F sharp minor, G sharp minor, beep boop, A major, B major, C sharp minor, and then we got a D sharp diminished. So the end result of this is you'll be able to spell out any chord from here. What we're going to be talking about in other videos is how to make a, let's say, E major 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. if the concept is you need 3 notes to make any major chord, a triad, you can erase the second, which is a sus. You can erase the fourth, which is a sus. And then you can leave your 1, 3, 5, get rid of that minor 6. All the notes in your relative minor, the 6th of every major key, has the same exact notes as E does. So in the key of C sharp minor, there are 4 sharps. So really, what we do is we learn just the majors, then the minors, and we kind of work on all 4 different types of patterns. And then we make that other chord, that diminished to half diminished, for a little bit more odd tension flavor. Join other videos when we talk about this concept, but this video today isn't worrying about that major 7th, or going to be even explaining how you can flatten that 7th for the minor 7th, giving you a mode called Mixolydian when a major format is here. So if you dig this, go back, check out the other videos. If not, just go to Google and Google modes, modus. You'll learn a lot about Greek history and how they were named and how they give a certain feeling and tension. Here's the best part about this. If you've been playing for a while and you already know kind of what these are and you're trying to associate what they are, this channel will help with some basic ideas that sometimes gets lost when you're starting an instrument. I don't believe that you should wait 4 or 5 years to start theory. I start all of my students off with some level of theory on every instrument. So if you're on this channel, you dig the interaction, please put a comment below and subscribe. Otherwise, check out this. E major, E, G sharp, B. When we have a 1, 3, 5 in the key of E major, we get a happy chord. If you need a comparison or you want to hear it, here we go. How about a ukulele today? Hope I'm in tune. Bong, 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 bong. Close enough. So a E major would have the notes E, F sharp, E, G sharp, and B. When we play our notes like this, we get the chord sounding happy. When we flatten that 3rd, the median, it makes a minor chord. So what we've just established is if we're going to play 1, 3, 5, we get a chord called a major. When we take that same spelling and we get rid of that accidental, that sharp, that flattens the median down a half step. And it took that to a which thusly with the 1 and 5, the root and the dominant note, that totally changes the feel of a happy chord from a 1, 3, 5 into a 1 flat 3, 5, and that chord becomes a minor chord. We'll know the feeling of a minor chord because it will feel melancholy, very kind of not upsetting, but it has this tension that makes you go, oh, this is not a happy chord, which is obvious to tell. The other chord that we're going to be playing here with today is going to be called the diminished. So that is a 1 flat 3 flat 5. And then just, for prosperity, the last chord is called an augmented. So we're not going to talk so much about that one today. That's a 1, 3, and then sharp 5. With our sharp 5, it gives you this awkward tension. So here's a major chord. Yeah, and here's a augmented. It raises that 5th and raises the tension. I use them for like movements of... And I'm sure you've heard some variation of this before. It's a passing, moving melody line. So what we do is we use all these chords for different things. Once again, this last one, 1, 3, sharp 5, is called an augmented. We just abbreviate with AUG. And the symbol that we use for that in music is simply a plus sign right after the chord. So if it's an E minor, how about this? E major, aug, we would have 1, 3, and then sharp 5. This would be E, aug. Cool, huh? Once you get used to how those spellings go, it's a lot simpler. So here we go. We're just going to talk about the major, minor, and then the last one. The last one uses that flat 3. So in the case of E major, it was E, G sharp, B. When we get rid of that G sharp, flattening the median and leaving the root or the tonic and the dominant note, it gives us a feeling of uneasiness, kind of melancholy, sadness, opposed to major, which is very happy. And then the next one would be a diminished. Now the reason why this one is very exciting and very interesting to me as a teacher, a fulfiller of concepts, is that when we have a major 1, a minor 2, a minor 3, a major 4, a major 5, a minor 6, and then the magical diminished, this is the chord we're talking about. every single one of these has a variation of 1, 3, 5, 1, 3, 5, 1 flat 3 flat 5, 1 flat 3 5, 1 3 5, 1 3 5, 1 flat 3 5, and then this has 1 flat 3 flat 5. Only one of the whole cadence that does that. Reason being, it's a leading tone, lending tone. We use this when we want to modulate or throw a little flair into it. The idea of this chord right here is the fifth being the dominant. What we will talk about in further lessons, Monday moments, is we're going to take the concept of making the fifth a dominant chord, meaning you just make that 5 into a 7 chord, and that thusly of that chord would drop down that major 7th to a minor 7th, giving you a dominant chord at the 5th. In the key of, let's say, E that we were working from, we would have had E, F sharp, G sharp, A, B, C sharp, and then D sharp. The minors are 2, 3, and 6. The majors are 1, 4, and 5. The diminished is the 7th. And when I get rid of all of this other nonsense, the 2, the 4, and then I get rid of this, I'm left with 1, 3, 5, and then the 7. D diminished is a lot like a B7. We will talk about this in a further episode and a lesson of this. If you have any questions, put in the comment section below. Otherwise, today's concept was just seeing how to spell a chord using the sharps and flats. We're going to do one in a flat key just because it makes sense, and then I'll let you guys go. So how about this? We'll make a comparison from E major to E flat. In the key of E major, there are how many? That's right, there are 4 sharps. E major, F sharp minor, G sharp minor, A major, B major, C sharp minor, and then D sharp diminished. Now follow me here. There are only 7 notes in a diatonic scale. How many are in this key? 4. So how many notes am I missing? 3. Guess how many flats the key of E flat has? 3 flats. So what happens is, if we just write the same cadence, E, F, G, A, B, C, and D, we know major, minor, minor, major, major, minor, diminished now, but we have to flatten all of these. Why? They were sharp here. When they go down a half step, E becomes an E flat, F becomes an F natural. Now I could write the little natural note, but we don't do that. It takes a lot of time. You only do that when you're doing it with sheet music and you're doing standard notation. When you change the accidental of a note on its height level of the grand staff, it follows that all the way to the closing of that bar line. So when we move these notes over, I don't need to put a natural note. F goes to a natural, G sharp goes to a G natural, A goes to an A flat, B goes to a B flat, C sharp goes to a C natural, D sharp goes to a D, a natural, and then we get our spelling. E flat major, F minor, G minor, A flat major, B flat major, C minor, D diminished. That is how you use the circle of fifths. See opposites for your major and your minors using sharps and flats, and get a little bit of muscle memory working them out. I suggest starting with C major, counting up C, D, E, F, G, and then using any video to help you along your process with your instrument and with your instructor. Aloha!